Hi, I'm MarzGurl.
I'm JoshKnightTheFirst.
Welcome to episode 70 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover Season 2, Episode 19 of City Hunter, titled, Kaori Takes a Great Active Role. Cheers with the memorial wine. Hey guys, we're back, and I know it's a little late, but we're here.
Sorry about that, life happens.
And by life specifically means I got a real bad migraine.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I got a super bad migraine and we couldn't record.
I mean, I just thought we had just a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, but that was just like the icing on the cake, was the migraine.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all take care of yourselves out there.
Yeah, for real. We did come back from Anime Impulse San Diego.
We did that.
There was no City Hunter stuff there, though.
I mean, I didn't figure there would be.
Nobody cares about it except us. That's why we're this really hyper-focused podcast that we're like, we just do this for us.
We've been joking around for a while, and by we, I specifically mean me, joking that we should get more people aware of our podcast by dressing as Ryo and Kaori and handing out flyers just like they do in the show.
I have no desire to push this podcast in that way.
We gotta get it out there somehow.
Do we have to, or could we just keep doing this for us?
I mean, ¿por qué no los dos?
You're also the guy who wants to, piggyback off of other people's City Hunter tweets.
Kaylin, there's only so many of us that actually watch the show.
Yeah, so let's just do it for us.
And, the other 5 people.
Yeah, that's great.
But it could be 7. You don't know.
It could be 7.
That flyer could reach somebody. You'll come around to it eventually.
No, I will not.
We'll see.
No, we won't.
We'll see if it's in the cards.
It is not in the cards.
Signs point to eventually.
If we get, a panel at a convention, okay, that's totally different. I'm alright with that because that is our venue that we created, okay? Our little pocket of people who will care, and there will only be 5 people in that room, and it'll be the 5 people that already listen to the show.
And admittedly, we're on a first-name basis with 4 of you.
That's true.
But that having been said, we can go ahead and go on with today's episode, which is pretty cut and dry, like some wines are.
Right, I guess this episode is about wine for some reason. This is one of these episodes you could take it or leave it. If you did not watch this episode, it adds nothing to the plot or the lore of City Hunter. It's here and it's gone.
Pretty much. The most this episode gives you is what would Ryo be like if he were an old man?
Yeah, because you meet an old man whose name also has the word Ryo in it.
But we'll go ahead and start there with the episode. Of course, every episode has to start off with the request for a job. And this week, it came to the apartment in the form of a scroll written right to left in hiragana.
Very traditional Japanese writing, right to left. And yeah, on a scroll with really detailed calligraphy. So Ryo is very upset about this. And he's like, you need to read this, Kaori. What does it say? Oh, and hiragana, it's XYZ, or XYZ, excuse me, because it's hiragana, and Japanese borrowed the letter Z from the British and not from the Americans, and so it's Z, not Z.
Yeah, so written out on the scroll, written from right to left, it's Ekusu Waru Zeto.
I mean, maybe that's an E, the Y.
Again, it was calligraphy, and it wasn't entirely clear, but we got the point.
Yeah. So, I'm my first question is, why are you asking Kaori whether or not she can read? I'm pretty sure the person we need to be concerned about whether or not they can read is you, Ryo. I'm not sure you can read.
Well, Ryo can read. He can read at least 4 letters, A, B, C, and double D.
And XYZ when he needs to.
Oh, okay, so he has learned. Next week, he's doing shapes.
So anyway, Ryo's very upset because the meaning behind XYZ being delivered directly to them on a calligraphied scroll means that this is probably an old man who has delivered this, and he's very upset about this because
Wait, so you think he delivered it himself?
Oh, well, we don't know how it got there.
I mean, I figure you just put that in FedEx and have it show up at the door.
All I said was it was delivered to them. I didn't say he did it physically dropping it off at his door. I didn't say that. When you go to deliver a package, do you go all the way to the person's house, Josh?
For legal reasons, I will say no.
Okay, so you understand that's not what I said.
I understand for legal reasons why I said no.
All right. Right.
So Rio's getting mad at Kaori like, damn it, I told you, I don't want dudes to be our clients. I hate working for dudes. I only work for chicks. They gotta be hot chicks. It's got nothing to do with that. You need to go tell them no.
But Kaori's like, yeah, okay, but what if he's just trying to do this for his granddaughter? Are you gonna let this hypothetical granddaughter down? And Rio's like, no, I guess not. Let's go.
Like, mind you, there is no granddaughter. There is no granddaughter. Kaori has trapped his ass on a hypothetical.
She even admitted it was a hypothetical, that she really didn't know. But he was just like, oh, well, I guess it could be. I mean, why not? Let's not leave this young lady waiting.
And so Rio is so happy at the chance to meet a hypothetical granddaughter who, mind you, we didn't even say how old they were.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know anything about this person who, once again, doesn't actually exist.
Kaori made up on the spot they could be 6 years old. Or 600. We don't know. This could be Tenchi. But it's not. It's City Hunter.
Meaning, she doesn't even exist.
She's in Canada.
Okay, that's where she is.
But yeah, they're there on the sidewalk, and Rio is just skipping his happy ass down the street. Mind you, we'll take a second right here to talk about Kaori's fit. She's in a very pretty yet short blue skirt.
One of the shortest skirts I think we've seen her wear, really. It's good on her.
Yes.
It's just unusual to see her wear something like that.
Yeah, so she looks extra feminine today.
Right.
So the scroll, I guess maybe not the scroll, maybe they had another letter with the scroll. Somehow they had extra instructions, all right?
The instructions are like, now go to this location,
this fruit parlor,
take a few steps forward, then take a few steps to the left, and then step a couple more steps to the right, and then stop and then wait for 4 o'clock. I'll be there.
And so Kaori follows the instructions to the letter, and she positions herself right there on the sidewalk on top of a grate, which is one of those vents that air escapes through for when the train passes underneath.
So, I mean, when we describe it like that, then you see where this is going. Like, you don't see the grate right away. When you do see it, though, it's because there's also a second woman who has walked up here, and she's stopped on top of the grate right next to Kaori, which has really excited Rio because he believes this is maybe the granddaughter, this hypothetical granddaughter that doesn't actually exist. She's just some random woman. We're never gonna talk to her. But an old man does also show up, and he's like, oh, I see you want to look at the girl standing on top of that grate, too.
You know this is the best spot. Hey, watch, here it comes, here it comes. And right before it strikes 4, the woman who Rio assumes is the granddaughter leaves. She just goes across the intersection because, the light is turned. Kaori's waiting there for whoever it is they're waiting for, and sure enough, the clock strikes 4, the train passes, and as you would figure would happen, Kaori gets Marilyn Monroe'd right there on the sidewalk, and she's wearing these cute little duck panties.
This is like a 21-year-old woman, okay?
20.
I mean, I know she was at the beginning of the series. I don't know if a full other year has passed yet.
Well, no, because she hits another birthday, right? Like, she's got another one coming up?
I don't know if we cover another birthday in the show.
I almost bet that she gets another birthday by the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so she's somewhere between 20 and 21. It's cool. This is a fully grown-ass woman, but I guess I shouldn't shame you for what kind of underwear you wear, but like, that's a short skirt and you're wearing duck panties. I'm just saying.
Look, you don't know what her circumstances were. It could have been laundry week. Maybe she just
You're
really
right.
likes ducks.
You're right.
You don't know.
I guess not.
You don't even know.
I guess
You don't even
not.
know. The unfortunate part is that because she's wearing this short skirt, that's not a lot of room to try and cover up her duck shame. And old dude there next to Rio is very, very happy. And so when Kaori hears this giggling coming from behind her, automatically, as you would figure, she assumes it's coming from Rio.
Yeah, and Rio's like, actually, I didn't know anything about this vent. And the old man's like, I did.
And she's like, great, here comes a hammer for you. And then she gets him, and Rio's just assumed, well, Kaori, again, for the second time in as many weeks, has killed a man. Let me go ahead and pray his last rites right here on the sidewalk.
Kaori realizes, oh, I hit the wrong pervert. I don't know why she says this, though.
No, she hit the right one.
No, yes, but that's not what she said at first. Because she admits that, yes, he is a pervert, but she wasn't aiming for him. She was aiming for Rio. Even though he announced himself, she wanted to hit Rio. So at first, she's really apologetic to this guy, even though he deserved it.
Well, no, it's like that one episode of The Simpsons when Lisa messes up the barbecue and Marge, out of habit, goes, Bart, no! And Bart's like, Mom, I'm right here. Sorry, force a habit. Lisa, no!
Basically, yeah, because then dude kind of wakes up from his stupor after being hit with the hammer, and then goes to cop a feel.
It's right on the boob.
And so she's like, oh, never mind, I guess I got it right the first time. What an asshole.
And then she goes to hit him again, and he's like, wait, I got this.
Action Bill. All right.
No, he's got the scroll again. He's like, can you read that? Well, yeah, it's the same scroll we got earlier, so you're the dude.
I'm the dude. You're the dude. Yes. Okay, we can have this conversation now. So, they walk to where? They go someplace else, like a park, nearby park or something.
Yeah, and dude introduces himself as Ryonosuke.
Oh my god.
Usually,
now there's two of them!
Great, now there's two of them. And it's like, you've heard like the name Ryunosuke go around, but no, this is Ryonosuke. Like really putting kind of a fine point on it. This is just old man Ryo.
Basically, they just like peeping on sexy ladies. That's their entire personality. But they're at the park, and they're over here like, so hey, you got some granddaughter or something we're protecting? He's like, oh no, I don't have any family. And Ryo's just like, well, damn it.
Well, no, he says really plainly in good English, pass. He's trying to leave. He's trying to jet. There's nothing for him here.
I like that he said in Japanese, like, Jodan Janeyo, which is kind of more literally, stop joking around, don't joke around with me. But I like that the subtitle translation of it was just go to hell, which I guess
very liberal.
It gets the point across. I understand. He's very unhappy that he has built up this fictional granddaughter in his head that doesn't exist, and now he's realizing, nope, she was never real, and he just wants to leave.
And so, dude does what works for a lot of older people. He uses the miracle of shame.
And pity.
Yeah, more pity than shame.
Take pity on me. I am an old man. I guess I'll just die.
Die alone.
All right. Wait. Just dial it back a second here, Gramps. Okay, fine. What is the problem? And he doesn't really explain the problem very well.
Not right here. And before any explanation can get out, this leggy blonde walks by both Ryo and Ryonosuke, and they both react exactly the same.
She's a babe. That's the reaction. She's a babe.
She's a blonde babe. And then Ryonosuke, for some weird reason, gets put off that Ryo has the same reaction. Like, hey, I don't want to get lumped in with this pervert over here.
I guess there can only be one.
There can be only one.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Ryonosuke is put off by Ryo being like that, and I guess it's like, no, there's not enough room for this amount of pervertedness. It's got to be just me. I can only handle me, man. You would be too much. In fact, I don't even want you to be my bodyguard. I need her to be my bodyguard.
Yeah, but you see exactly why it is he wants Kaori to be his bodyguard, because he just wants to be around cute women, which, by the way, I feel like this should also solidify normal people with normal eyes can tell that Kaori is cute, okay?
Yes.
So anytime Ryo is making fun of her for not looking girly and cute, he's a fucking liar.
Yes,
so
we have established this.
And we're establishing it again right now. So Ryo is just like, alright, he's all yours, have a good time, bye.
This would be a good opportunity for you. I'll check back in on you later.
Kaori's not super thrilled about it. I understand. Because then they go to this family restaurant called Dinners?
Dinners. I assumed they were trying to be like Denny's? But like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of on the money to call your place Dinners. What if I want breakfast, yo?
I just realized we said dinner a whole bunch of times right in front of our cats who only know about 3 words and one of them is dinner. So, oops.
You're not seeing this. One of our cats, Doom Train, her ears have perked up multiple times because there's a specific tone that we use to invite them to eat.
And I think I used it in the first instance of saying dinners. So...
And as we're recording this, they've still got 30 minutes to go before they eat. So we're going to try and get through this podcast without disturbing our cats.
I'm sorry. So they go to this diner and this old man fucker, just like
he's kind of insufferable right here.
Kaori is just trying to order some normal ass food. Just pizza
and a Coke
and a soda, okay? And she's like, and you old man, what do you want? And he's like,
I'm hungry for ass.
I don't know why you thought.
This old man goes in for the tush grab.
The waitress is there at the table.
Yeah, and he has just grabbed this woman's butt right here in front of God and everybody.
And she's just like, ass is not on the menu. She's, like the subtitles say tush, but come on, it's the same thing. So,
Oshiri can be translated as tush, or ass.
It is the butt.
It is the butt.
And she walks away, obviously upset. Kaori is also upset because this weird fucking creepo guy is using his feet to feel up Kaori's thighs? I'm so...
At least she stuck a fork in him.
A fork and a knife, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And so dude's like, hey, don't call me Grandpa. Call me Ryonosuke. Let's get on a first name basis, baby.
I do not want to do that. I'll do it anyway.
Because I'm actually hiring you for a real job. My house has been broken into multiple times.
Oh, okay, so what are we gonna do about it? He's like, we're not gonna eat dinner here. We're just gonna go home right now.
Kaori's like, go home, but we just ordered. I got a pizza coming. Like, he's like, no, strike while the iron's hot. Let's go. Like, what are you gonna do, old man? You ain't got no game.
His game is get her drunk, which he actually does.
This guy's scum.
He is kind of scum, and it's super weird that actually he does all that, and then when Kaori is actually kind of tipsy and she kind of starts to fall asleep, he doesn't actually do anything to her.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here. So, like, dude's over here rushing Kaori out the door of this restaurant, and Kaori, it says out loud, there's something really familiar about this guy's patterns. Gee, I wonder where she saw that before. But no, they get back to his place, which happens to be this, like, big old-style mansion. Not like a two-story, but, like, more Japanese style.
Right. Old man's got a lot of wine.
Yeah, he's a wine collector, and he offers some wine and cheese, so that is a little bit of game. Hit him with the charcuterie board, and what's he pull out here? Bordeaux 70. Now, mind you, neither of us, Kaylin or I, are wine people.
No.
I've been to wine tastings because of previous employment I had. I think wine is gross.
I have never had wine.
You would hate it.
Okay.
I know that for a fact.
I take your word for it. But Kaori has some, and again, like, she kind of gets drunk maybe a little fast, and she realizes, I didn't even hear what your job is, but I cannot stay awake. I'm falling asleep right here.
And see, that's the thing, like, she didn't want to drink, right? But then dude's like, yeah, this Bordeaux 70, it was my wife's favorite, my late wife. She's gone now. Again, using the pity, she's like, all right, maybe one drink.
But as she falls asleep after having had this drink, the old man...
Well, multiple. They cleared a bottle, I think.
I don't know if it was a whole bottle.
I think it was a whole bottle.
Well, anyway, so, he actually just covers her up with a blanket and then walks away and goes into the next room where there is a shrine to his late wife. And, he's just kind of talking to it and praying to it. Like, all right, just gonna keep that thing safe for the next 2 days.
For the day after tomorrow.
After tomorrow, and then everything will be fine. And then two guys that we've never seen before walk in this door like, because that's what they're doing. They're chuckling like that. And they're like, we're here for that thing.
We're here for it.
You will never have that thing. And then Kaori is awake. And she's like, I don't know what you're here for, but you're gonna steal something, and that's not good.
So once Kaori sees these guys, she chucks a bottle at the back of one guy's head, which only pisses him off. And so they're like, hey, girl, you better stay out of this. We're here for that thing. If you don't know where that thing is, then stay the hell out of it. And she's like, okay, I'll stay out of it, but my gun might not. So she's packing. We didn't realize she came tonight packing.
Small handgun on this pouch on the side of her waist.
Also, was she wearing a pouch and I never noticed it until now?
I never noticed it. I don't think they had always drawn it there the entire time, but just whatever the cartoon needs for it to be, Josh.
But yeah, she's using the same 6-shot snub-nose revolver that is effectively Kaori's gun. She does use other guns throughout the series infrequently, but more often than not, if she does have a gun, it's this one.
And per usual, she just starts firing wildly, which is good enough because it's terrifying.
I forget how do you describe her style of shooting? Like, I always use the term quack shot, like the old Nintendo game. Like, she's just so bad at it.
You mean duck shot?
No, quack shot. It was with Donald Duck.
Oh, I don't know that game.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Duck Hunt. There's Duck Hunt, and then there's Quack Shot.
Yeah, I do not know Quack Shot.
Yeah, that was a different one.
Very different games, I'm assuming.
But yeah, she's firing wildly and still managing to, like, scare the guys, eyes graze one guy's hairline, and it's enough to be like, oh crap, is she actually gonna hit us? She's like, I got another bullet? You want to find out? You want to freaking go?
And they're like, nah, we'll go. We won't mess with this. And really, actually, they don't get very far.
They just kind of go around the corner. And then dude remembers, oh wait, I've got one of those. And he pulls a gun. And he's about to come back into the room like 2 seconds later, like he was gonna punk her, like, oh, you thought you got rid of us? Well, I got one right here.
But suddenly he finds himself with a gun to the back of his head, and it's Ryo, who's been standing watch somewhere in the vicinity this entire time. This is not the first time he has done this in regards to Kaori. You know, asked Kaori to do some mission and threatened to not be partners with her anymore if she couldn't actually hold her own. But really, in reality, the entire time, he's hanging around and making sure everybody's safe.
Yes, he is the watchful protector, the silent overseer, trying to make sure the Kaori doesn't screw up.
And she did okay, but you know, she might have been taken by surprise if they had come back in. But Ryo's like, you want to try that with me? And those two guys are like, you know what? No. And then they finally leave.
So Kaori kind of like takes a nap real quick and then wakes up and she's like, wait a minute, I forgot there's stuff going on. Hey, what were those guys after?
Old man Ryunosuke is like, well, they wanted wine. You mean the stuff you got all around your house? Yes, but only one specific special one, and it's this one right here under my wife's shrine in this room. And it's this like 120-year-old bottle.
Yeah, it says it's Chateau Madonna 1867. It's a red, which means nothing to me because, again, I don't like wine. But this thing, yes, is, at least as far as us recording this, over 200 years old. It would have been over 200 years old at the time of the episode.
No, it would have been 120 years old.
Oh, no, you're right. I can't math right
That's
now.
why I said that the first time. 120
No,
years
you're right. You're right.
That's right. This time, I mathed better than you.
But can you word better than me?
What?
That's what I thought. And so you look at this very decorative, ornate French bottle, and it's like, oh, it's so nice. How'd you get a bottle like this? And old man's telling Kaori, well, you know, we got it from a customer of ours. We used to run an import business for wine.
They gifted it to us. They really liked us, me and my wife. And my wife wanted to save it for our golden anniversary, which would have been, I don't know how many years together that would have made. I just know
no, they got it as their silver anniversary.
But she wanted to save it to drink for their golden.
And I think gold, that's 50.
Yeah, because 25 years had passed since they got it. So,
right,
okay.
so yeah, that tracks.
But unfortunately, she had died some time back, and now they're 2 days away from when that anniversary was supposed to be, and he's just saving it because he wants to drink it for their anniversary, even though she's not there. But somebody clearly wants this wine because it is so old.
And so expensive and so rare.
That some asshole is like, I want that. And now we're gonna find out which asshole that is.
It's this specific asshole, a guy by the name of Kinzo Takamori.
Nobody cares what his name is. That's the only time you'll hear his name. He just has a lot of wine.
Well, actually, we're gonna hear it one more time by the end of the episode.
I don't care.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's just asshole of the week.
He's just got a lot of wine that apparently he's done literally anything to get before in the past, so this is nothing new for him to send some weirdos out to an old man's house to steal his wine that is sentimental for his anniversary with his dead wife.
Like, dude's over here saying, I've done other horrible, unspeakable things. I've dug up wine from people's graves because it was so expensive.
He has done crimes for expensive wine.
So he's a crimer.
He is a crimer. He's done criming.
And so he's hired the two guys that we saw before.
And he's very upset that the two guys came back and they did not successfully bring that wine to him.
And so you figure they're going to try again, but, you know, the camera, and I know we say camera like it's a live action show, but the shot zooms out from the outside of this guy's mansion, because you figure he's loaded. And who's outside? It's Ryo, again.
Listening to figure out what the actual plot of the episode is, because Kaori, I guess, didn't quite get the whole story. So
well, yeah, because Kaori and old man Ryunosuke have no clue that this guy's even involved at all.
But Kaori does want to figure out who is involved. So that's going to come up.
Yeah, it's the next day. Kaori wakes up with kind of a headache, and Ryunosuke, who I imagine is better versed at drinking wine, is like, I'm all ready to go to the pool. Let's go to the pool.
They've got a day to kill before they get to the day where they can actually open the wine and drink the wine. So yeah, he's he's like, well, I need to stay fit because I'm an old man. If I don't get exercise every single day, well, I'll just die. So they go to this pool, which he really only wants to go to so that he can see hot babes in swimsuits. That's it. That's the whole reason. And Kaori doesn't like that very much, and she's like, no.
Well, it's funny, you were mentioning that he says something that wasn't subtitled there when they get up to the pool.
Oh, yeah, something about a peachy girl. So, yeah, it's not subtitled, but I very specifically remember it as something that Master Roshi near the beginning of original Dragon Ball wants. Goku wants to be trained by Master Roshi, and Roshi will not train Goku unless he brings him back a peachy girl, which I'm not 100% sure what the onomatopoeia for peachy is, but there's like a very specific, like, she's really cute and bubbly, and like he watches a lot of like jazzercise kind of exercise videos, so you imagine it's this kind of really fit and perky kind of a girl.
So he's got something in common with the mangaka here.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a thing for the jazzercise ladies.
And these are girls in swimsuits, so that's pretty close.
And so, they're done there at the pool, and Kaori's there chastising old man Ryonosuke there on the sidewalk, and, the plot probably thought, there hasn't been enough danger this episode. Should we have a kidnapping now?
Yeah, let's kidnap this old man
All right, let's do it right now. And so the two dudes pull up in this van and just slow motion, pull the dude into the van and then just drive off with him clean. That was a good grab.
Well, yeah, they didn't even stop the car for it.
They didn't even slow down.
They kind of just clothesline him into the van.
Yeah. And Kaori's like, shit.
So she goes to Ryo like, hey, help me out here. They just stole this guy right out from in front of me. And Ryo is being, like, really...
a dick?
Like, he's really trying to spur her on and get her upset. And he's saying, well, I can't help you. I've got to go get ready for a date tonight. And without even a further explanation, you're kind of just like, that's bullshit. You and I both know that's bullshit. You're just saying that because you want Kaori to go and do this herself. Which he basically admits immediately after. Like, if you can't do this, then should you really be doing this at all? Like, should you really be in this line of work? You go do this yourself.
And as you figure, this is the reaction that Ryo wanted out of Kaori. She's like, alright, fine, I will. I don't need your help. I'm a strong, independent woman that don't need no city hunter. And that's the thing, like, Ryo has shown before, and you would figure Kaori might have committed this to memory at some point. Very beginning of this season, Ryo pretended to be on several dates to distance himself from Kaori, but the second she was in danger, boom, he was right on top of her.
Yeah, so this is happening again, and Kaori figures, well, what do? I genuinely don't know who kidnapped this guy or where he went. So she just kind of went to the one person that she knows to talk to anymore, and that's the shoe shining guy on the street.
Tetsu, yeah. So that means if we're right here, that Kaori, you remember back in episode 4 when she got introduced, she asked the informant, that was the same informant, right?
I am pretty positive, yes.
Then that means she's at least committing some of this stuff to memory. She is learning.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, is that she went up to the shoe shine guy on her own back then, before ever having met Ryo.
Right.
So she already knew, without Ryo's help, where to go. Maybe she knew that because of her brother. Maybe her brother had given her this information about this guy, or she'd seen him do it. I don't know.
I mean, that brings up a whole other question about how much of work did Makimura tell Kaori on a regular basis? Because you remember, at the end of the day, they would use Ryo's apartment as their base of operations, and then at night, Makimura went home to Kaori. And so, they probably have dinner and stuff together. And how much did he tell her? How much did she know?
Well, she seemed to be aware that, he had at least been a police officer for a while, and maybe he was still doing something to solve crimes. So I don't think she was wholly unaware of what City Hunter was.
Maybe not entirely.
Because I don't get the feeling that by the time episode 5 and 6 roll around, that she didn't understand what the job was. Maybe not how to be good at it, but I think she understood what her brother did.
At least by this point now in season 2, surely she's got a better grasp of that. If you're saying now she knows that she's got her own informant that she can check, even though it's one Ryo's aware of. But yeah, she's at least got the base idea of how to do the groundwork.
So she goes to Shoeshine Guy and is just like, look, can you tell me anything about two dudes who want to steal wine? And he's like, that's really vague, ma'am.
But you could be talking about this very specific guy that happens to be the exact guy you're looking for. Like, that tells you everything you need to know right there. There's only one asshole who's doing criming for wine out here.
But also, the only reason the informant knows it is because, look, right around the corner, it's Ryo, and he's standing there listening to Kaori getting this information, because Ryo gave the information to the informant.
Like, Ryo knew where she was gonna go. Like, hey, Tetsu, just so you know, Kaori's gonna be here in like 5 minutes. She's gonna ask you something. You don't know it. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just give her this information, all right? Make her feel big.
It just sort of feels like Ryo thinks this is kind of a fun game to play, actually.
Well, see, that is a question in and of itself, too. Is this actually helping Kaori become a more effective member of City Hunter? Or is this Ryo just babying her?
It's a little bit of babying. And I think, like I just said, this is like a fun game. This is, oh man, we're playing a mystery. I hope Kaori's having fun, because I'm having fun.
I mean, is this fun to Ryo?
A little bit, I think so. And even he has to admit to Shoeshine Guy, yeah man, this really is a busy lifestyle. I don't have time to actually go on dates. So he just straight up admits he lied to her about him not being available because he had to go out on a date. He did not have a date. He was just going to be right there making sure Kaori did her job correctly.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. At this point, how does Kaori not have any sort of awareness that Ryo is looking out for her? Because we've proven this multiple times. Or it has been pointed out to her by some of the villains that Ryo was looking out for her.
She just wants to think she's doing a good job.
I mean, I guess. But yeah, now that she's got the right information, she's heading out to Takamori's mansion, where sure enough, old man Ryunosuke is being held and being threatened. Like, hey, give us the wine, otherwise we're gonna mess you up. And he's like, no.
He's still like, no. But this is where Kaori comes in, and she's driving her Fiat, and the camera goes inside the car, and she's wearing a bandolier around her chest, and she's like, you just wait there, Ryunosuke, I'm coming for you.
And she hits this hill that's right next to Takamori's residence. Goes right through the window, action movie style, skids out in the living room, busts the door open, and she's like, alright, we're getting you out of here. And then they start blasting, and you notice Kaori doesn't have the 6-shooter anymore. She's got an Uzi.
She has an Uzi, and she has a grenade. She just lobs this grenade at the wine head.
At the wino.
And he's like, oh, what's this? Oh, shit! Drops it there. They all go running out the room. Whoa! Just this big ball of fire bursts through the door. Her car's still in there.
Her car is still in there. Like, there's some things we gotta unpack here, alright?
She just blew up her Panda.
But her Panda doesn't have the same kind of coverage that the Mini does. I highly doubt that.
What do you mean? Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's blown up. It's blown up. What are you...
I'm saying, like, Ryo's got some kind of coverage on the Mini to where if it blows up...
You mean insurance?
Yes.
Oh.
Insurance coverage. What do you think I was saying?
I don't know. Like, it's not an armored vehicle? I don't know.
No, I'm saying she can't afford to get that blown up. She has to work an extra job at night to support City Hunter.
Okay. Look, we don't know whether or not her car is insured. I also don't know what Japan's laws for driving uninsured are.
Well, one, I don't think she's driving uninsured, and two, I'm pretty sure if you blow up your own damn car with your own grenade, that's not gonna get covered on your deductible.
Depends on what kind of insurance you're buying, but you know what? This is not important.
Also, you gotta remember, what is it, last episode or the episode before that, when they were down in the basement, you remember Kaori went straight for the Uzi, and Ryo wouldn't let her use it, like, no, let me go upstairs and take care of these guys. She really wants to use an Uzi.
She's been trying to do this for a while now.
I think she's been itching for something like this, like, come on, let me at him, I gotta get it out.
Well, now she's doing it. She's saving that guy with the Uzi. I don't know why she didn't just have him get back in the car and then they drive back out the window she drove through. And like,
I mean, they are shooting back at her.
Yeah, but like, they really could have just driven away. And now she doesn't have a car.
So now they're having to run through the mansion to try and figure out how to get out. And so they end up having to go down into the basement. So the guys come looking for him, and then here's where Ryo shows up to go ahead and clean house. Like, alright, I've let Kaori have her fun long enough, now let me actually do my job.
Does he take out one or both of the henchmen?
He takes out both.
Kaori, mind you, does not see this happen, but Ryunosuke does see Ryo drag these limp bodies kind of out behind a wall. Like, there he is. He's kind of a good guy. He's got this. And Kaori is just totally oblivious.
And so Kaori's able to corner Takamori now that he's defenseless. And she's like, all right, you better leave this guy alone. Otherwise, I'ma blast you.
And to prove that she's serious, she just starts shooting up this whole wine cellar. And all of these really expensive wine bottles are just blown the fuck up. Just probably thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of extremely expensive and rare wines just gone. And he's like, all right, fine. I'm not gonna come back for this guy. Jesus, just go away.
Like, admittedly, yeah, that's probably thousands of dollars. You're right.
Yeah.
Because I used to work at a very high-end grocery store where we had a very large wine section. And I remember the one night somebody didn't strap something to the wall right.
Yeah.
And you heard the crash from the front of the store. And, like, I'm trying to remember how much they said they got him for that night. It was thousands.
Oh my god. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so that dude, not only has Kaori done damage to this guy's, window and living room, and there's probably a panda on fire in the living room.
Just a whole car in a living room on fire, yeah.
But now, like, the damage to his wine cellar, mind you, remember, those wine cellars, they have to be, like, pressure treated.
Right.
And they have to be like temperature controlled.
And somebody has to go in there and rotate them every so often, or else they'll just sit there and they'll get stale and go bad.
So you got to think about like the man hours this dude has had to put into this wine cellar. Like it could easily be like in the tens of thousands, the kind of damage Kaori did just now. But yeah, that solved it. That's everything. And that's the next day. And it is the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow is today. And now it's time to open up that bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's real nice. Like, the old man has his picture of his late wife. He's taken it over to Ryo's apartment, and Kaori's up there with them. And Kaori is pouring the wine. She pours an extra glass for the picture of the wife that is not there.
That's nice.
And she pours some wine for the old man. She pours some wine for herself, and Ryo's begging, like, hey, pour me some. And she's like, why should I give you any? I shouldn't give you any. And Ryo has to, like, not give away that he helped. But mind you, the old man knows that Ryo helped. And he's like, well, actually, I kind of think this Ryo guy isn't so bad after all. And Kaori's just like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. She's like, fine. All right, everybody here can have some of this incredible 120-year-old wine.
And then they all have a toast, Supergirl's playing, and that's the end of the episode.
It's actually kind of a nice zoom out, you know?
Yeah, you know, this one's, again, that's the whole thing right there. It's very cut and dry, not too many hijinks, but you are right what you said at the beginning of the episode. If you skipped this one or you forgot to watch it, you missed nothing.
That's true. It's just a fun, cartoony romp this time, that's all.
It's barely a romp.
It's just a cartoon.
It's just a cartoon this week.
With some sexual assault, mostly by the old man. Ryo really didn't do the assaulting himself. He was kind of a creep in his own way a couple of times.
But he did not assault.
He did not touch anyone.
No.
No, it was the old man's fault this time entirely.
And we will never run into this old man again.
Thank Christ.
And so next week's episode is going to be a big one.
Yeah, really important character development between Kaori and Ryo is happening next time.
And all it took was amnesia.
It's always the amnesia! Oh my god.
Well, because what it's gonna do is it's gonna get rid of a lot of pretense between the two of them.
That's true.
And so we're gonna see a lot of stuff come to light. I believe this is the episode where a couple of things about Ryo's behavior and his kayfabe that he's keeping up around Kaori gets unmasked.
Yeah, but I don't think she remembers a lot of it by the end of it.
I mean, we still have a full season to get through, so
That's true.
We can't bring it to an end just yet.
Of course.
But you're gonna want to stick around for this episode. It's going to be a good one.
And we do have to bring about an end to this podcast episode. So come back next time when we cover the 20th episode of City Hunter 2, Kaori Gets Amnesia. Goodbye, my dear partner.
And if you want to catch us outside this podcast, you can always find us both over on Twitter. For now, I'm at JoshKnightFirst.
And I'm at MarzGurl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 70th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, I'm going to give Josh amnesia.
Who am I?